Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Boruto Naruto Next Generation discussion on the fallout from Boruto Chapter 80. And today I want to bring up something that I do believe is a drop plot point from earlier on in the manga that many of us have wondered, will they ever go back to this at some point in the story? And given how chaotic things ended with the end of Boruto Part 1, with everyone having their memories of Boruto and Kawaki shifted, with Boruto being the one who's accused of killing Naruto and Kawaki being the beloved son of Naruto and grandson of Minato. However, earlier on in Boruto's manga, we had a plot point that was surrounding Tsunade that was dropped and never explored ever again, never mentioned the anime on top of that. And given that we've reached the end of Boruto Part 1, I want to talk about whether or not we can expect something to come from this and what impact it may or may not have, and if this might be a situation where it might be until the end of the story itself before we get this addressed. So for those of you guys who might have forgotten, we learned from Mitsuki that Orochimaru has been researching the Otsutsuki clan and has found a combination to Tsunade's Byakugo seal and the Otsutsuki clan being one and the same together, going so far as to say that it can be traced back all the way back to the Sage of Six Paths itself. Mitsuki shares this information because Sarada and Naruto both have a remark that Boruto's Karma seal and Kawaki's Karma seal looks a lot like the Byakugo seal that Tsunade and Sakura have from that 100 Healings jutsu. When Jigen was arriving in Konoha in order to take back Kawaki and boxing up Naruto after apologizing for stepping in his house with his shoes still on, Boruto and Mitsuki were on their way to visit Tsunade to find out more of the answers about the Byakugo and the potential connection to the Karma seal itself. However, upon Boruto's karma cutting on due to his resonation with Kawaki, they raced back to Boruto's home, and from there the story proceeded as we know it, with that iconic moment where Naruto and Sasuke got humbled by Jigen, and then Kashin Koji killed Jigen, Ishiki bodied Kashin Koji, and then Ishiki proceeded to give Naruto and Sasuke PTSD. And then Kurama went smoke and Rinnegan went poke. Between the anime and manga, this plot point was never addressed ever again. However, as I was rereading Boruto's manga, something really stood out in Ada's words. She said as long as Boruto and Sasuke don't return to the village, she won't use her Sharingan to search for them. Ada's wording was very specific. She said the Hidden Leaf Village. She did not say the Land of Fire. The reason why I bring this up is that in the time after the Fourth Great Ninja War ended, Tsunade, while she does get the occasional briefing on village affairs, for the most part Tsunade stays out the loop on day-to-day activity, but most importantly, Tsunade, after Kakashi became Hokage, does not live directly inside of Konoha. Tsunade's met Sakura in restaurants inside the village to speak, but Tsunade stays just outside the village and closer to the small towns that have gambling halls, basically a short day's journey from the village. And given that Tsunade has that penchant for gambling, that shouldn't shock anyone when you think about it. She might have retired, but when it comes to hitting the jackpot, when it comes to gambling, she's more like that Vince Carter meme saying, I still got one more in me. Or to use an NFL term, she's just like Dak Prescott, he's got one more interception left in him. Given that Boruto and Sasuke can't really return to Konoha, exploring Tsunade and that plot point might be something that you have to think about, but you do run into some problems should you do this. Tsunade is going to obviously be under the impression that Boruto killed Naruto and that Sasuke is actually aiding him. Tsunade's location is going to likely be watched by the Anbu because she is a former Hokage, but also because she's the teacher to Sasuke's wife. So even if it being a slim chance that Sasuke would go there to try and make a connection to Sakura, that's likely going to be monitored. However, should this be a plot point where the story does pick it back up, it doesn't seem like it'd be the craziest thing to do, because again, it will fall outside the range where Ada said she drew the red line for breaking her deal with Boruto and helping Konoha hunt down Boruto. It was do not come back to Konoha, not do not come back to the Land of Fire. It would also pay off the earlier information that we were told, but at the same time, one would think that visiting Orochimaru would offer just as much insight, if not a little bit more insight, just because Orochimaru is the one who made the connection between the Otsutsuki clan and the Byakugo seal. So if anyone has the right idea on what secrets of the Karma seal might exist and how it ties into 100 Healings, it'd definitely be Orochimaru, and he's well versed enough in Otsutsuki trickery that he would be more inclined to at least hear figure Sasuke out. If for no other reason than his loyalty to Sasuke, and any conversation could be had via genjutsu, assuming that Sasuke and Boruto were able to enter into Orochimaru's hideout in a way that Yamato and the Anbu Black Ops wouldn't notice, and that Mitsuki wouldn't notice if Mitsuki happened to be there, because as we saw when it comes to Boruto, Mitsuki's pretty much saying it's green light season on Boruto because of the Shinjutsu. There could be information to glean from the story should it actually go this direction. However, I also think we run into a bit of danger should we go this route as well. Allow me to explain. Should the story reveal that they found a way to speak to either Tsunade or Orochimaru, what this would mean is that Boruto, during the time skip, he's not mastered his karma seal, because part of the benefit of mastering the karma, it isn't just getting the power of your otsutsuki, but it's also getting their combat experience, and most importantly, getting their knowledge. Boruto mastering karma outright, I don't think that's something we see fully, just because of what Kishimoto said in the past about how writing for prodigies is very challenging, where years ago when Naruto was a weekly manga, he talked about how writing for Sasuke can be boring because of how quickly Sasuke learns jutsu and adapts. Case in point, how we learn change in chakra nature drill training takes years to accomplish, and Sasuke added a change in chakra nature in only a few days worth of training with Kakashi. This is definitely something that Boruto does as a character, hence why so many characters in the universe comparing to a young fourth Hokage because of how quickly he learns things and his skill as a shinobi. I do expect Boruto to have some room for improvement when it comes to using the karma seal, but I will say that his situation with Momoshiki right now, it does make things very, very tricky. Momoshiki and Boruto's thoughts, they overlap right now, and it almost looks as if whatever wall that exists between the two of them is actually weakening, allowing for more of their conscious and subconscious thoughts to bleed over into one another's minds, which means that at some point Momoshiki inadvertently is going to reveal something about the karma that Boruto doesn't know and could stand to benefit from. I do think part of Boruto's journey off screen in the time skip is going to be him trying to learn more about the Otsutsuki and what traces of them have been left behind on Earth, especially since Momoshiki has spoken about the Shinjutsu like it wasn't the first time that chakra was used to manipulate memories of humans on Earth before, meaning there might have been other Otsutsuki who have visited before Kage and Ishiki came to Earth. I don't think that line was dropped by mistake either, and Boruto just happens to be the one human on Earth who is traveling with the one human being who has made a career of spending time inside of those Otsutsuki dimensions and looking into them. While Sasuke can't actually access those dimensions anymore because the Rinnegan went poke, we do know that he thoroughly examined them, as well as all the various places inside the ninja world that showed traces of Otsutsuki activity, which is how even as far back during the time that Naruto and Hinata were married during the events of Sasuke's sunrise, Sasuke had found traces that there might still be white Zetsu who survived, which would end up being the mutated white Zetsu that Boruto on Team 7 fought against. I do think we're eventually going to get to a situation where we learn more about the secrets of the karma seal, especially just given how much stuff from Samurai 8 we've seen sprinkled into Boruto's manga already, which, side note, I'm really glad some of you guys have actually taken my advice and actually read Samurai 8. I pinned a comment on yesterday's video because one of you guys pointed out like, hey, I can see what you mean here. There's an overlap with Shibai and one of the characters from Samurai 8. And so I will say this right here. Given that Boruto doesn't have access to Amato, we're going to be in a situation where there's going to be someone who has to give Boruto more of the answers that he's looking for, especially given that overlap we have with some of Samurai 8's lore. Whether it be Momoshiki himself accidentally slipping up, or Boruto learning something from Sasuke, or Boruto finding something out via Orochimaru Tsunade, there's a reveal that is coming into the story that's going to be relevant and continuing the world building on the bombshell that is Shibai Otsutsuki's existence, as well as the goal of both Boruto and Kawaki to find a way to remove their karma seals in a way that isn't what Amato stated, which is death, which again, that's unless of course we go the Samurai 8 route where the concept of life, death, and rebirth is just outright transcendent, but that's another video for another day. But whatever information Boruto gathers, it could be a problem for Kawaki. I'm curious to see how you guys actually view this one turning out. Is Boruto's manga going to pick back up on the subplot of Tsunade knowing something about the Byakugo seal that can be used for the Karma seal, or Orochimaru has been investigating the Otsutsuki and found a connection, or is this going to be one of the many subplots that we've had in the Naruto franchise get dropped, or is this going to be something we don't see paid off until the very end of the story, similar to how the whole line was dropped in early Naruto? Hey, the Byakugan has disappeared, Dojutsu, the 3 great Dojutsu, and we don't actually see what that actually means until Kage pops back up. While you think that over, click here to watch these other Naruto Explained videos.